If you don't hide money and other valuables well enough in your home, you might as well just burn them. That's why in this video I'll show you 11 incredible ways to hide money so that no one can find it. These ingenious hiding places will even amaze any professional. For many of the tricks, you should always take some cling film and wrap your money in it. You'll see exactly which ones in a moment. Take the first one, for example. For this, we use a tube of cream that is already a little empty. As you can see, you can place the money lengthways on the cream tube and then roll it up a little at the top. Unfortunately, my tube of cream is still a little too full for this. The whole thing works better when it's a bit empty. That way you can just put it with the other creams and nobody will know that your money is rolled up underneath. And did you know that you can also hide money in a hair bust like this? Because there is a rubber mat underneath these studs that you can simply peel off. You can now fold up some money and put it inside. In fact, the cavity is relatively large. You can even fit a few bills in here. Then simply push the rubber back under the edge and nobody will be able to see that anything is hidden inside. Only you know and your money is safe. The next trick has a little twist. Because if you hide money in a book, you always have the problem that burglars throw books around or shake them so that the things inside fall out. However, if you wrap the money in cling film, you can simply stick it underneath the book, especially if you have such a binding around the book, or stick it on the individual pages. Because even if you shake the book or throw it around, no money will come out and no burglar will have time to leaf through all the pages. And you can even hide some money in a lip balm stick like this. Just twist it out and put the contents aside, because now you have such a small plate in here which you can easily lever out with the help of tweezers. And you can now hide some money underneath. To do this, fold it in so that it fits in lengthwise. Now roll it up nice and tight and simply insert it into the lip balm stick. Now take a small plate again and push it in. You can remove the money at any time with tweezers or put it back in again. Once you have inserted the small plate, it's best to push the lip balm back in yourself. Twist it down as far as you can. Cut off the remnants that stick out at the top and rub a little more into the edge. This way it looks used and you could even continue to use it. But you can also put it in your pocket or in a drawer somewhere and no one will get the idea that you have hidden money in it. It works just as well with chewing gum wrappers. If you take the chewing gum out of the wrapper itself, you can fold a bill so that it fits into the wrapper. To do this, you should make sure that you fold it so that it really fits in, so check it before you have finished folding it completely. Now you can put it in here, close the whole thing again, and then simply push it back into the chewing gum wrapper. This way, nobody will get the idea that there's money hidden inside. You can now even put several of them in the packet and close the packet itself completely so that it still looks unopened and simply put it in the cupboard. Nobody will take it. Another ingenious hiding place is a fire alarm. Because when you turn it off, you have this plate that is mounted on the ceiling. This is usually only fixed with 1 or 2 screws. This means you can move it back and forth a little at the edge. And that's exactly what we take advantage of by sliding a banknote behind it, because these usually fit perfectly behind the plate. You can put the fire alarm back on. It works as normal, but your money is pretty safe under here, and if you have more than one in your house, you can distribute several banknotes everywhere. And if you have a bell box like this, you can simply pull off the outer cap and you usually have a very large cavity behind it. You can either stick some money in the cap itself or simply attach it to the bell here. You can usually just fold it somewhere in between. Just make sure you don't put it anywhere near the cables. Now put the cap back on and nobody will think of dismantling your doorbell because they think there might be some valuables inside. If you use such pocket door boxes in your home, you should try the following. Open them at the side as they are usually only slightly glued here, and you can open them very easily to gain access to the inside. You can also fold up some money and simply push it into the side. Afterwards, you should of course close it again so that nobody can see that it was opened at the side. You can either do this with some adhesive tape or put a small drop of hot glue behind it, because this way you really can't see it at all from the outside. Of course, you mustn't forget that there is still money inside so that you don't simply dispose of it together with the money. But the next hiding place is really incredibly ingenious. You'll need a set of cards like this, preferably an older one. Take down a few cards, fold 1 or more banknotes so that they fit on the card, and we still have a border around the outside. Now you should mark everything around the banknote. I don't need to do this here as it fits perfectly in this red field. So now I cut off exactly the size where the banknote fits in. The whole thing goes to one side, the banknote goes in here. We put the card back in with the other cards and then put more cards on top once the money is inside. Now you have to make sure that you can't necessarily see that anything is stuck in here. In my case, you can still see the whole thing, so I take out another card, which I also cut off the edge of once to put it over here. That way I can push it back into the card box at the end and nobody can see that anything is stuck in there. And probably no one will ever think of stealing any set of cards. So your money is safely hidden. Ideally, of course, you should also hide the card set itself and not leave it out in the open. An almost empty toothpaste packet is also a very good hiding place for some money. To do this, you should cut it open once at the top. Now wrap the money in cling film, push it in completely, and then fold the top end over a few times so that you can't see directly that it has been cut open. Just put it in your cupboard in the bathroom. Only you know that there is money inside and nobody will think of stealing this empty packaging. You just have to make sure that nobody throws it in the bin. For the last really ingenious trick, you need some kitchen roll. Now grab a bar of soap and a drill. Drill a hole in the side of the soap, but make sure that the drill doesn't come out the other end. Now you can take some money. You should roll this up tightly with some cling film so that it fits into the soap at the end. Push it in here, then grab some of the soap scraps you have drilled out and press them into the top of the hole so that the cling film is no longer visible. As soon as you have pushed in a good amount, you should heat the whole thing a little with a lighter and rub it over again, because then you can hardly see it anymore. You can always pull the money out again with tweezers if you need it. And so you can simply put the whole thing somewhere in the cupboard, preferably somewhere in the store cupboard, so that nobody can get to the soap and steal your money. And if you want to find out about 11 more incredibly ingenious money hiding places, then watch the video you see on the screen now. Click directly on it.